And we've got all the right in the world on our side. And there ain't no reason to be afraid. And there ain't no reason to not take the challenge dead on. Because I'm going to tell you who we come from, folks. We don't come from some weak, jellyback, spineless people. That's not who we come from. None of us. And it doesn't matter what color you are, what nation your folks hail from, how much money you got. We all share the same name. We are Americans. And at Bunker Hill, there was Americans. And at Fredericksburg and Gettysburg, there was Americans. And at Iwo Jima, raising that flag on Suribachi, it was Americans. And at Pork Chop Hill, there was Americans. Quezon, there was Americans. And on 9/11, there was Americans who ran towards those burning buildings. That is who you share your heritage with. You do not share your heritage with a weak and ineffective people who cower at the sight of trouble. You share your heritage with a strong and brave people who are determined to hold on to their freedom and for the freedom of future generations. Guys, it's time for us to stand up and be that generation. It's time for us to stand strong and proud and remember who we are. That we are Americans. And as long as we stand as the vanguard of freedom in this nation, freedom will survive people. Not only survive, but thrive. So guys, it's time to put on our packs. It's time to fix those bayonets. It's time to get ready. We got a fight on our hands. And our fight is not for us. For all those generations that's going to come behind us. Let's save America, folks.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay, guys, welcome to the program. Yes, my voice is still gone. It's just a process I have to go through to build my voice back up, so I apologize in advance. Just think of it as listening to late night sexy radio, and we're going to talk about nerd stuff. Anyway, this wasn't my topic for this morning, but so many people responded to the program I did yesterday, and people kind of came out of the woodwork to try to rebut it. I go, this is great information. I think people need to know it. So we'll kind of consider this a part two. I think you'll find it very interesting, certainly very engaging. Yes, you hear me sucking on a lozenge just so I have at least a little bit of a voice, right, to share this with you. So do me a favor, folks. Raise a finger, share this program right now. It's brought to you today by the fine folks at Gold Go. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Please go to jovanlovesgold.com. Fill out the information. Get your free gold and silver kit today, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. It's not about investing in it. It is just about covering your booty. That's it. Okay. Just to kind of give you some framework to get started, just so you know. There was a post online the other day that was this. And it was from this fellow you probably know of, or read about him in books, Moses, a.k.a. Professor Clemens, wanting you to let his people go because, of course, we all know and should embrace the fact we all belong to him. But anyway, a video that he circulated was Dr. William Daughtry, I guess I'm saying it right, talking about hundreds of thousands of fake ballots, no chain of custody, submitted through Dominion tabulators, configured to not check for the counterfeit paper. So I addressed that head on. Now, why did I address it head on? I addressed it head on because even if we set elections aside, forget that it's elections. It just happens And this is why I even got into this to begin with, working to try to save my country, because I got a call from the White House saying people are saying their Q codes were changed. That's the origin stories of why you even know about me in elections. And by the way, I didn't give a rat's ass about elections. I was so lost, so ill-informed, and I was so part of the problem of why our country got taken over, because I didn't pay attention. I'll never let that happen again, but it's true. So if you're brand new to my program, when it comes to this topic, because they'll say, he's a Fed. Yeah, I'm a fabulous educating dude. I admit it. I am a Fed, a fabulous educating dude. But there's a reason why I'm an expert witness. There's a reason why I do what I do. And there's a reason why they brought it in, is because these machines, like it or not, they have nothing to do with me, meaning I don't make the machines. I don't do any of that or the programming for the machines. But it just so happens that the entire global platform that uses any of the features to scan, connect, scan commerce or whatever, using unique codes of any kind, whether it be a QR code, CRQ, Q code, 2D, 3D, or whatever, are all subject to my patents and have to license my patents. That's why I am the default expert in this field. Here's a quick primer of how much you in the technology world interact with this late night audio voice nerd hiding out in the biker's body.
Great ideas are brought to life by great thinkers. One such thinker, Jovan Pulitzer, has contributed over 500 patents to our technological world. The United States Patent Office shows that as many as 40 new inventions have stemmed from each of his pioneering patents. Today, built upon his incredible success, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer innovates in the areas of virtual and augmented reality, data analytics and global data platforms, nanoanalytics, healthcare systems, mobile streaming and communications, as well as monetization technologies. Some of his groundbreaking innovations are right in front of you every single day. A barcode has long been just a bunch of lines on the bottom of a box of cereal. But today, every product, article of commerce, and even people have a unique identifiable code. Everything in the world has become interconnected, and like magic, we can use our device's camera to read barcodes and unique QR codes. A now ubiquitous technology that Jovan ideated and patented. For a long time, software was purchased on floppy disks and CDs, and it was a hassle when there was an update to install. Today's devices know when there is an update available, and then automatically take care of that behind the scenes for us. Another one of Jovan's patents that we take for granted every day. Several years ago, viewing the same website from a computer to a laptop to a mobile device always seemed to make it look wonky and broken. Thanks to one of Jovan's patented ideas, websites fit perfectly into the screen you're looking at. That's what we call responsive design. We all remember when taking a toll road meant digging around your car for loose change to pay the attendant. What a traffic jam. These days, manned toll booths are a rarity. A tag in our vehicles linked to our credit card automates the payment process. Our inventor Jovan Pulitzer innovated the device that lives in your car and the system to capture and process that message.
So now you know the source of my pun, if you've ever seen me speak in public, that most of you finger me 8, 9, 10 times a day. Damn it, now I'm going to sound like a bad smoker. Anyway, that's where that comes from. Okay. Did I get my first thumbs down? Come on. Got to be somewhere. I know they're going to watch this because we're talking about them. Okay. So that's my nerdy background. And believe me, I can go head to head with the nerds and talk techno weenie, which some people think if you talk techno weenie, that means you're really smart. No, I think it means BS because the tech is for the public. And so the reason I'm doing this is because people push back when this came out, and I did it. And I did this program yesterday, and I covered this little bit, which I'll show you again, by the way. People got somewhat upset. Now, I didn't know the source of the 2-minute video. Evidently, it's a road show that had went on and may still be going on, where the same cast of characters have been traveling around city to city doing something called the Gideon 300, picking a Bible theme, you're a warrior, or whatever the case may be, that's fine. The Gideon 300 grassroots training. And so thank you for the guys who gave me the heads up. That's where that video came from. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal for the very first time, I have never revealed this part to you. Ever. I've done a lot of teaching, thousands of hours since 2020 on this election stuff. But I have never revealed to you Dominion Voting's super secret ballot codes, period. I've never shown you how it all works, what it is, and what can or cannot be done. So, 2 minutes, we're going to get started. Share this program. I'm about to give you an incredible PhD. Somebody says, what happened to my lawsuit with them? I don't have a lawsuit with Dominion. You may be thinking of somebody else. Dominion won't touch me. And the reason they won't touch me is because I'm the only one telling you the truth. It's not about the fucking machines. It's people, paper, and programs. And here's how it really works. So what lawsuit are you talking about? Okay. Not quite 2-minute break. I'm going to suck on my sucker. Get my voice going. And I'm about to give you a PhD, and you're going to be the smartest patriot in the room. And this one's going to kick ass. Here we go.
Warning. The following program has been rated Dilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you. Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, here we go. Now, I know people might be distracting with other things that have nothing to do with this. Let's learn the program. And if I need to, learn the topic of the day. If I need to, I'll hang on at the end and you can ask some questions. But the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to give you a little sudden move because maybe you didn't pay attention. Many of you across the country have gone to supposed election integrity issues. We're going to teach you how to fix this. We're going to teach you how to fight about it. But I've always told you the system's very subtle. See, the problem is you've been attending the Election Integrity Leering Center, where people get up on stage and leer at you, bark at you, make all kinds of claims which aren't valid, and you actually think you're going there to learn. So the very first thing you have to do is you got to understand we must de-enroll you from the election integrity leering centers. And we must get you really focused on what's going on and why is this going to be so important coming up in the midterms. Now, somebody sent me an email. Hang on one second. I just got to make sure I find the right one. Shit. Go back. There we go. Here it is. I apologize. Let me get to this one right here. Here's what generated me even talking about this, even in depth. Dog and Bone Curious at Curiosity First tagged me in a tag that says, hey, you may want to look at this. And here's the patent. And there is Dominion documentation that also shows that this is a feature of the DCF and the ICPs. We're going to talk about that. I try to stay away from acronyms. I'll qualify for you. I do use DILIGAF a lot, but it's really the only one that applies because most people glaze over at DCFs or ICPs. So I'm going to keep this really simple for you because it truly is very simple. Okay. And if I fall over, my lozenge just went right down my schnoz. Hopefully I can still breathe, which is why. Did you know that's why a lifesaver is called a lifesaver? And that's why it has a hole in the center? Did you know that? It's because if it gets stuck in your throat and gets wedged, you can still breathe. A la lifesaver. Because too many kids were sucking down hard candies and suffocating. And just like all of you know, it's always because of the hole. That's what makes everything work. Nothing would work without the hole. Okay. A little bit of prep so you understand. If you want to watch the commentary on this, you can watch the commentary. The training on this is critical because I have never, ever before released to the public what we know about Dominion voting super secret ballot codes. They've never been revealed. I'm now kind of forced to do this as the ongoing trail of why some of this stuff in election integrity leering center is trending again.
There were many problems discovered during the Maricopa audit. So in the first place, the Senate subpoenaed the ballots, and the Board of Supervisors delayed 5 months before they delivered the ballots. Out of 1,600 something boxes, all but about 50, the seals were missing or had been broken. There was no chain of custody on them. Dominion has a very specific requirement for ballot paper to be used in a Dominion scanner. So we're talking about something that's 4 or 5 times thicker than an ordinary sheet of paper. It has to be manufactured by the Roland Paper Company in Canada, and it has to have an infrared fluorescent watermark on it. Inside the scanner there's an infrared light and a detector to make sure that the ballot that's been inserted is not counterfeit. But when the citizen auditors actually got to look at the ballots, they found 9 or 10 different kinds of paper, most of which came from Staples and Office Max. You say, well, how is this possible that they scanned 2 million ballots and didn't detect and reject the counterfeit paper? It's very simple. There's a configuration setting to turn the detector off. So basically, the machine was set not to check whether the paper being inserted was counterfeit paper. And you can count counterfeit ballots as many times as you want.
Okay, so that's the impetus of this. The same guys that go out teaching this at the Election Integrity Learing Center use fake accounts, and they're always pinging me for information, etc. Always trying to catch, always trying to do this, because they've got to figure out how to push back when I'm pushing back on what is truth, what is not. Remember, if you don't know how the system does it to you, you can't fix it. Now, here's how this works, okay? So it started with this, and then this video, blah, 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 here it went. What I did is I got this email, or excuse me, not an email. I got a twang on the twit, on the X, basically calling me out. Now, this is a person that regularly communicates with me, but does not follow me. Here's why. They don't want people in their group to think they actually follow my work. This is how I can tell who I'm communicating with, because they don't follow me. But they'll certainly ping and ask. And so here it is. So we're going to talk about this, because the evidence that was sent, and that's the first thing. If you're asking me about election integrity, and you're trying to decide if you ended up at the Learing Center versus the Learning Center, right? Okay, ask. Most of these people are not brave enough to do this in the open. I wish we were. That's what everybody needs. We need to talk about this in the open. But that's not rewarded in this political environment, because the system needs everybody broken apart, and they need to keep on pushing myths out there. It's not about informing you. It's about misinforming you and keeping you into the different places. So what the person sent, what Dog and Bone, Curiosity First sent, here are the attachments. The first thing they sent was out of Dominion voting manuals. That's what we're talking about, because I'm going to reveal for the very first time the super secret ballot codes. And so what this person has sent to me, okay, is, okay, well, here's really proof. This was the proof number one that you should look at this. You may want to look at this. You really don't know what you're talking about, but okay. And by the way, I don't know if they were being sarcastic or not, but I have to assume if they don't even follow my work and they're asking me about election integrity, come on, it's kind of a big tell. And so the first thing they point out to me was, if you do read Dominion's manuals, which people are just now catching up to, it says, as it goes down, 1, validate the images scanned are of a valid ballot, and if enabled, check for the presence of secure infrared paper stock elements. See what I said? See, I told you, huh? It's in their manual. You're correct. It does say, validate the images scanned are of a valid ballot, and if enabled, check for the presence of secure IR paper stock elements. Now, most people will go, oh my God, they're right. There it is. Don't make a judgment call. Don't decide whether I'm right. Don't decide whether they're right. Get through the whole thing and then use your mind and decide what's right. Because this proves nothing. I want to show you the secret codes. I'm going to show you the proof. So this was their first shot across the bow of evidence. Then the second thing they sent was this. Now, this is the paper. I push back on the video and it says it does not require a specific paper. It suggests. There's a big difference between require and suggest. Huge difference. So this was their second highlighted thing to me. The approved paper for the image cast ballots has been incorporated into a family of options known as Vote Secure 100-pound text. I do have a stupid question. If it's the machines and I'm the paper, why are they proving it's the paper? Anyway, so as you go through these three choices, we've always known this, okay? We've always known this. You see, the manufacturer is, in fact, Roland Enterprises. These are papers that have been approved, not papers that are required. Papers that have been approved. Big difference. So we're going to look at these three types of paper. You have Roland Enterprises paper, 100-pound, all 100-pound text. You look to the far right, right? They're that last column, second to last column, they're all bright white paper with a smooth finish. And then you have Secure Vote SL, Secure Vote IJ, and Secure Vote SD. So you clearly see there are three different suggestions for Vote Secure paper. Now in the video that Lindell's team did here, kind of makes it sound like they were involved in the Arizona audit, and they weren't. This is all the work of our team. We're the only team in history ever that has actually looked at the paper product of the ballots down to the fiber, the printing, density, and everything else. In fact, again, I have patents on that. I invented every single step to validate the paper of a ballot. And if it's correct and used correctly, are my patents. So this is not theory for me. So first off, let's do a little bit of education on the papers. Is that okay? Let's talk about these papers. Write them down real quick if you need to. You can use Vote Secure SL. You can use Vote Secure IJ. You can use Vote Secure SD. So this person is saying, hey, look, it had infrared, and hey, it's this, and they have to use the paper, which is what I was pushing back on. I'm going to give you the ability to push back on this. What is the difference? See if you can put it in chat. I'll be surprised if anybody gets it. What's the difference between Vote Secure SL, Vote Secure IJ, and Vote Secure SD? Those are the three different ones you can use. What are the differences between Vote Secure IL, Vote Secure IJ, and Vote Secure SD? Anybody get it? Here you go. Ready? Vote Secure IJ is the paper they suggest you use if you are using an inkjet printer. Inkjet. You're probably getting a sense, well, what the fuck is the secure part? We'll get to that in a minute. SD is if you're using it for an offset ballot production, meaning it comes in a big roll. Super duper. Literally, that's what it means. Super duper. Big size. Or you can have SL, which has an agent in it because it does a dusting toner. That's a laser toner, and they can smear. So it has to have a powder. So you are now a 100% incredible vote secure expert. Are you using an inkjet printer? Are you going to use that in your fax machine as well? Maybe you have your old dot matrix. Are you going to print this on really big honking machines that take the big one off? Don't you get that IL? That's just for an inkjet. You need that super duper. That's the SD version. There you go. Now you're an expert. What the fuck did you learn? This person basically thought they were outing me. No, let me tell you why I've never really talked about this part. Because it makes no bearing on anything. Didn't move the ball. But they had a third piece of proof. They're going to put me in my place. Because not only does it appear in the manual, not only do they say it's vote secure paper, don't tell anybody, but we found it in the code. And so what you're looking at here, which is impressive, what you're actually looking at, and this description, okay, is the, how would I put it? The table of contents, okay, the table of contents for what is called, and by the way, this is the device configuration file, DCF. It's for the ICE. Yeah, it's in Michigan. No, it's for the ICE, CE, which is the image cache evolution, or the ICP, which is the image cache precinct. But we have a screenshot, and it shows right there, enable IR detection. Now remember, I promise you, I'm going to show you the super secret ballot codes that are revealed that they actually do and how it works. My job is to make you the smartest patriot in the room. Because you have been told. I'm going to go back to what you were told. This is all I'm doing.
There were many problems discovered during the Maricopa audit. So in the first place, the Senate subpoenaed the ballots, and the Board of Supervisors delayed 5 months before they delivered the ballots. Out of 1,600 something boxes, all but about 50, the seals were missing or had been broken. There was no chain of custody on them. Dominion has a very specific requirement for ballot paper to be used in a Dominion scanner. So we're talking about something that's 4 or 5 times thicker than an ordinary sheet of paper. It has to be manufactured by the Roland Paper Company in Canada, and it has to have an infrared fluorescent watermark on it. Inside the scanner, there's an infrared light and a detector to make sure that the ballot that's been inserted is not counterfeit. But when the citizen auditors actually got to look at the ballots, they found 9 or 10 different kinds of paper, most of which came from Staples and Office Max. You say, well, how is this possible that they scanned 2 million ballots and didn't detect and reject the counterfeit paper? It's very simple. There's a configuration setting to turn the detector off. So basically, the machine was set not to check whether the paper being inserted was counterfeit paper.
Okay. Ironically, yes, he's talking about the very audit that all of those same guys tell you never happened, never found anything, never discovered anything. Jovan teams never turned in any report. They didn't have any numbers, but yet he's regurgitating all their work. Now, what is a material issue here is it's the same psychological warfare that goes on all the time. It's about 80% truth combined with the 20% bullshit they want you to know, and that's a watermark and that the machines catch them. The rest, razzmatazz, oh my God, we got to fix this. Well, yeah, we happen to have a watermark ballot, which is what we're going to go through. Now, as I reveal this to you, I'm going to give you just the absolute facts so you can make your own decision. So now you know that, yes, the recommended paper, if you're going to use Vote Secure, VOTSECUR, Vote Secure. Okay. There are 3 versions you can choose to use. What does Vote Secure secure from? Put it in chat. You know this. You know this. Because the rat bastards that ran the election spent multi-millions of dollars in time and effort and post to let you know what Vote Secure paper protects from. What does Vote Secure paper secure from? What does it prevent? Bleed-throughs. There you go. That's it. That's the only thing it secures. That is it. It's got a great name. The paper is designed to reduce bleed-throughs if a marker is used on it. That's it. Now, you look at these things, but they got Secure SL, Secure IG, Secure SOD. And Jovan, you're not smart because they have the Secure TOS as well. I know of that one. Yeah, a ton of shit. It means nothing. It's cool names, but it means nothing. So here's the thing. If you use Vote Secure paper, depending upon the type of print systems you use, if you use it, it will reduce the number of bleeds. But see, what's the problem? The problem is, in order for us to do our forensics, we weren't allowed to with Runback, but the rolling paper company was very forthcoming. They did phenomenal stuff for us. And they told us Maricopa didn't order any Vote Secure paper from us. Now, see, there's a little bit of a conflict here. Look at the top sentence, Vote Secure. That's the actual trademark, VOTSECUR. Okay? The very company that owns the paper, owns the trademark, produces the paper, ships the paper, says Maricopa ordered none. Runbeck would order from Roland. Roland is Runbeck's supplier. Now, the Roland people said, we don't want this to backsplash on us. we see all this promotion regarding vote secure paper. We're going to use it. We've got nice aligned margins. You can use pins now. They said, we're terrified because the county invoked our name. And by the way, they didn't order the paper. And by the way, our records show there is no way they can administer this election because the paper is not in stock. They don't have it. Think about that. This is when they told me, I've told you this, but maybe you don't remember it. Get ready. Now we're talking, chills go down my spine. We're talking March 2021. This is all pre-audit stuff where we're getting ready. March and April stuff. They said, ready? Quote, it's going to come down to the paper. And we're telling you, it's only going to be deductible in the paper. And as all this time that they spent telling you they use vote secure, they didn't. And in fact, we know they intentionally, for the ballot on demand machines that are in the precincts or the vote centers, not the big mailing stuff, didn't provide any paper. Everybody's going to be left on their own. And you know what those guys are going to do? They're going to go out and they're going to go to a supply store and they're going to buy cut oversized paper so they at least have something to print the ballots on. And they said, that's going to be dangerous because they forced Sharpies. We know what's going to happen. These guys sat in front of the attorney generals in Arizona doing a demo on vote secure paper, how it won't bleed through, and they didn't even buy the shit. And the AG gobbled it up the gravy. Now, that's the first thing you need to understand in this. But Jovan, I got it in the code. I got it in the code. Here it is. Look, enable IR detection. Well, the way I equate this, and we got a lot more learning to do. The way I equate this is, if you were to see an Epstein photo at a massive party in Miami Beach, and I want you to be serious here, don't give me bullshit. And there was a big wide shot of a party. And all of a sudden you see all of this famous faces in the crowd, including President Trump. Does that mean everybody in the photo diddles kids? And I want you to answer honestly. Does that mean everyone in that photo diddles kids? Yes or no? No, it does not. And in fact, you don't even understand the odds. You'll take a party of 1,000 people and you might have maybe 4 bona fide pedos there that are in fact raping little kids. Why do they need the other 9,996 people there? Why do they need the other 996 people there? Because their witness is saying, I didn't see that going on. I was at the party. Do you understand how it works? They bring their cover with them. So Maricopa, corruption, used all this cover. But they say, look, Jovan, I've got code here. Here's a code. Here's a snapshot of the code. This proves that I'm a code guy. I know code. I'm the #1 tech CEO of the world, even second to Google. I'm it. But here's code. But what intrigued me most about the post was, hey, here's their patent. So, since that happens to be my expertise, I go, great. You asked me a question. I'll answer you. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to show you this image on the screen. How many different embedded code technologies in this one photo do you think you can identify? Just take a guess. You don't have to be right because it's not about being right. But this is a collage I put together. I've done a lot of training on this. You can go back and watch it in my archives. But the image you're looking at are various ballot encoding technologies. Okay? And so on its face, you can quickly identify about 10. There are 10 different variations of technology in there. I'll point it out. If you look left to the tan side, that's basically a watermark. Like you see in old letters. That's a watermark. In that tan, do you see what looks like little black dots? That's a stochastic pixel. If you look to the right side in the blue, you see those little, up towards the word secret, you see those little illuminated beings. That's the fluorescent. When it's added at a fiber standpoint, that's what a fluorescent fiber looks like. The one to the immediate right is the metallic strip that you're looking at that can be embedded, okay, in your dollar bills. And on the right side is UV, ultraviolet, instead of IR, infrared. You've got ultraviolet frequencies. And that's a combination of designs, marks, watermarks, fibers, textures, and ultraviolet frequencies. So you kind of got a thing. And ultraviolet is when you were sneaking into the club and you had to have the little thing on your hand and they'd shine the light and they could see it. Okay? You know all this stuff. And so what they offered to me was, hey, but they have a patent on it. Okay. So let's start there. I've given you all their evidence. But this, and a patent. So now I'm going to teach you about patents, the things you need to know about patents. Here is the patent. This is the Dominion patent, otherwise known as ballot level security features for optical scan voting machine capable of ballot image processing, secure ballot printing, and ballot layout authentication and verification. You can see it on the screen. Now I'm going to change to a different screen just so we can pump it up. Where'd we go? Oh, come on. Is that it? Let me make sure I got it. Okay, yeah, I can pump it up now. Pump it up. Jam it. Okay. Oh my God, look. It's got Eric Coomer's name on it. It must be bad. Eric Coomer. Dun, dun, dun. Ballot level security features for optical scan voting, machine capable of ballot image processing, secure ballot printing, and ballot layout authentication. So as I'm taking you through this ballot, what you kind of have to understand is it's a ballot that started way back in 2009. See where it says 2009, whoa. And then you have 2011, US. Well, they started it in 2009. Okay, and what it does, and they continue to do it, but it basically says Ballot authentication system uses a plurality of security features embedded in and or printing on the paper stock used to print a ballot on which the election choice information is printed, and a voting unit that includes at least a scanner that is configured to detect the plurality of security features that are embedded in and printed on the ballot and authenticate the ballot based upon the read information. I know that's a little bit to bite off. Okay. And as you can see drawings that people get enamored with this. Here it is. It all comes down to the claims. Method of validating and authenticating a voter marked paper ballot. And it says encrypted security code, printed feature, blah, blah, blah. An authenticated public-private key pair. Private-public key pair. Okay, here it is. It can be in encrypted codes. It's got to use a scanner. It's got the ballots must have pre-assigned security codes, pre-assigned serial numbers, blah, shitty, blah, 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 shit, blah, 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 right? And it basically tells you everything that can be done. That's it. Everything that can be done. Okay. So that's your primer in the Dominion voting systems ballot. Now your pop quiz. Ready? And so this is 100% what Daughtry was referring to, which is probably him sending me that email and cover or that message. But let me ask you a question. Okay. What does Dominion voting systems do? Put in chat. What does Dominion voting systems do? They make software. You got it. They make software. They make software. That's it. They make software. Now, how many ballots does Dominion voting systems print? Not a one. But they got a patent. See, a patent is a company laying out its claim of what it intends to do. It's a partition. What it's not is the practice of what it does. So I can take you back in time. Now, let me take you back in time. First off, we'll just use this ugly piece of paper. If this is going to be my ballot paper, this is going to be my ballot paper. And I want the Dominion super secret patent to come into play. What must I do to this paper? Put it in chat. You're going to do a ballot. So you're beginning to catch it. They don't print ballots. Runbeck prints ballots. Okay. If I'm Runbeck and I want to print ballots with this super secret sauce from Dominion, what do? if I'm run back. See, because I'm Dominion, I can't do shit. Peel it back. Peel it back. Yes, Dominion prints ballots. That's correct. But does Dominion manufacture paper? No. There you go. You're starting to get it, guys. You're putting it together. They've got an order from Roland. Right? They've got to order said paper from Roland. If Roland wants to provide Runback with security encoded paper, what must happen? And it doesn't matter. It's in Canada. It makes not one bit of damn difference. Quit chasing squirrels. Focus on the program. If Runback places an order and they want paper with this technology in it, they order it from Roland. What does Roland have to do? Put it in chat. What has to happen? Runback orders the paper from Roland. What has to happen? Yes, Roland is a paper manufacturer, but what does Roland have to do? They have to manufacture it with the security features embedded in it. This is linear thinking. If you want to use this feature in an election, then the county requires it. We want to do this. They talk to their ballot printer. The ballot printer doesn't manufacture paper. So the ballot printer then has to order the paper. In ordering the paper, they have to actually include the features that the manufacturer can manufacture, and it's going to make a very key important that the manufacturer can add it in the paper. Why? Because it's probably under a license. You think security enhanced ballot paper just appears and owns the shelf? No. And I'll just give you a good example here. It basically says encryption codes. It's going to have numbers. It's going to have, you're going to start with security codes. We're going to check them back and forth. We're going to check first security against the second security. Okay? It's all in front of you. It's all 100% in front of you. Right? Which means, by default, what happens? I just told you. I just read you the Dominion patent. I'm showing you exactly what it means. You have to have dual set polarity features built into the product, which basically goes like this. Maricopa County, I want to do all these secure ballots. Well, what features do you want to use? Well, I want to use this and this and this, and we have to encode them, we have to whatever. So now the county has inserted an audit trail. The question is, did they in 2020 insert an audit trail? Also, that ballot must have a unique code, and it must have a checksum. It must know when it went out. It must know when it came back. Right? And how it works. So when that ballot is run in, it goes, fucking A, this is a good one. Now let me ask you another question. How do it know? But it's in a pad. I saw it on X. The professor told me it's in the patent. Okay, let's just run this out. How does it check? You're missing it. If you're going to assign every single ballot a level 1 code and a level 2 code, means this number must match this number. When it comes into the system, it's got to go, oh, this is number BR549. Then it's got to go fetch. Hey, what's BR549? And it's go, that's the ballot that's associated with Junior Samples Auto Shop. But you can't get a ballot, but we're not going to talk about that. And so he's a valid voter. Do you understand what happens? That is what the Dominion software development patent contemplates. The ability to do security features. Now we're going to go back in time. First off, you may have learned a few things. Okay? You may have learned a few things here. Runback can't do it on its own. It just doesn't have this secure paper hanging around. It has to place the right type of secure paper order. Secondly, even if it does order said secure paper, Runbeck has to order it from Roland. Roland has to manufacture it, but the county has to supply them with security codes and a back-end data hook that allows it to check two-way information back and forth. Is this a valid ballot? Is it a good ballot? Etc. So let me ask you a question. In the number one stolen election in history, did they put such security trackings in there? No. In excess of 1 billion printed ballots in the United States of America has been printed since 2020. How many of those printed ballots since then have included an active IR or infrared, whether it be infrared, whether it be UV, any of the marking? How many of those ballots have been produced and used? Put it in chat. Since 2020, not a fucking one. Now, let me ask you a question. If Dominion owns a patent for putting that security feature in, when it comes to voting systems, they still have to have a manufacturer, right? Right. Now, let's keep on playing this through. So we've ordered paper from the paper manufacturer that we want these security features in it. And what we want is a scannable, retrievable code that you can scan in, verify the code is authentic, that it's properly issued, and confirm it back. And the frequency we want you to do this with is we either want you to do it with IR or we want you to do it with UV. Okay? You with me? Does Roland, the paper company, own the Taggart technology? Yes or no? Does Roland, the paper company, own the Taggart technology? Put in chat, yes or no? No, it doesn't. So they have to get that, the right to use it, via a license for an approved application. Now, Dominion can use it. Dominion can use it when it comes to putting it in a ballot management system. That's what Dominion staked out. Taggart Technologies, which are going to the paper manufacturer and say, we want to put security taggants in, those are all owned by a whole different level of companies, like 3M, right? IBM, old Xerox company, AT&T, right? Don't jump ahead of me. So even the ballot printers that are, meaning the ballot printer must go to the ballot supplier. The ballot supplier must put in the embedded technology, which all increase cost, but it's okay. Now, let's say they license that technology. So now they're going to put in the foo-foo juice. But we're going to use specifically the patents of Dominion that this person says proves this point. And Dominion's patents require recognize the code, validate it's unique, confirm it's authorized, fetch, match, reconcile, tokenize, and approve. You follow me? Boom. You got it? Who owns that technology? Because that's a function. See, the piece of paper is a ballot determined by size, but now you got to track the process. And you got to reconcile it. And you got it right. I own that patent. It's a suite of 207, not to mention if you're going to do it by IR, I own that patent for ultraviolet wavelength adaptability because it has to be built into the fucking machine. So even, which is the next step, even if it's going to be put in the paper by the Roland manufacturer and they're going to do it, which is multiple license, and they do it, and it comes back to Runbeck, and Runbeck prints them and do them, you now have to have something that can recognize them, because didn't this PhD with multiple PhDs tell you the machine, it was cut off? No, he told you, he shared with you a screenshot somebody shared with him and see, it was cut off, it's off, it's off. Well, the tabulators in this system that make up the democracy, it is mockery, the democracy ImageCast suite, the democracy suite, and all the different configurations, whether it be ICP, ICE, or DCF, primarily, even though they have the contemplated ability, okay, they use in their ImageCast family, the actual devices they use, okay, is a Canon image formula DR. Canon Image Formula DR. It's the Canon DR scanning platform that they use. It is made third party by Canon. Now, the Canon DRs that are used in the vote centers, all right, they actually have a feature inherent to them. Remember me teaching about how the cast vote records are compromised based upon the Kodak 265 color code, and they've terminated the grayscale 265, therefore they've rendered them almost unreadable. And you saw my expert testimony and stuff for it. Why was I testifying? Because it has to do with my patents. And so I'm testifying as an expert witness of doing the following: printing machine readable codes on paper that are designed to track, trace, retrieve, tally, and report. I have 207 patents on it. That's my whole platform that I built long ago. It's going to be done by codes. You're going to put codes in the physical world. The only way you can put codes in the physical world is got to turn it into a physical manifestation. And it's got to be stuck on something. It's why you see not only barcodes on products, but you see Q codes on products right there. And everybody told me it was crazy. Nobody would use it, but now it's common. But see, you still have to incorporate it into the machine. The machines don't inherently do it. Now, all these machines have, which is called visible light imaging. And I'll show it to you this way so you understand it. The only thing that's going on, and I'll read this barcode to you. Let me make it go. What the computer sees, if I can get it clearer. What the computer sees, you ready? On, wake up, accelerate, on, full power. 1, 4, 0, 9, pause, there's more. Second level more. Power up. 0, 3, 5, 9, 5. Gently power down, close out operation. 7. That's it. You now know the secret sauce super duper code. The one above it, which you know is a QR code or a Q code, took it from the flat realm to we can stick a lot more information in that little bitty space. Now, what does it mean? Sight left, sight right, sight left, read, point, count, add, subtract, reveal. So now you have to build that into the machine. Because the machines that Dominion actually uses, what they do is, I told you how they use this, but they basically have what's called double feed detection. It's commonly handled by ultrasonic and can kind of vibrate it, but it can detect there are 2 sheets involved here. And so it knows what to do with it. It vibrates, it knows, hey, here's what it is, and here's what I have to do. And so this is basically what happens with the ICE, the ICP, and the Canon-based ICC scanner models, which is the DRX 200, DRX 10C, and the DRG 1130. Okay. They do not have built in to those models UV or IR. They do not have built in to that model or those models they use that capability. I'm telling you the truth because I own the fucking patent for that. It is not in those machines. There hasn't been an application for it. And when I changed the spectrum length to read it differently, it changed the whole scope. It was never needed before. It's kind of all obsolete. Because I changed it and did it with cameras versus lenses and IRs and nodes and wavelengths and all that other stuff. Because there were too many control features and too many people you had to deal with. So even if Runbeck ordered from Roland security ballots, can the machines read them? Well, these guys tell you about it's in the code. It's in the code. See, it's turned off. It's in the code. I'm a smart guy. I'm looking at the code and I saw it on TV, and I know these guys are great because they do all kinds of cool things, and it's just in the code. I know it, and that's where it is. Do you know why it's shut off? You know why your phone right now, your regular telephone, you know why you can't get shortwave on it and some other stuff? But the feature's there. Because it's not enabled the right way. Does that mean it was something nefarious? No. It means they didn't want to spend the extra $20 in the cost of the scanner. The number one breakthrough I did in scanning is when all of these big multi-billion-dollar, and this will explain why I take so much shit, these multi-billion-dollar companies selling in grocery store scanning were selling on the low end $3,000 a scanner. Now think of how many scanners fucking a grocery store chain needs. And I took their $3,000 scanner. I tried my best to work with them. We gotta make scanning in the phones. We gotta do this. I'm working with Intel. I'm working with Microsoft. Everybody. We're getting them in everything. No, it's got to be our scanning technology. It's got to be theirs. You're going to pay $10 million. It's about $3,000 a head, whatever. And I said, I'm letting you know it's coming. And we're going to do it. Now, does that mean I violated their patents? No. It means their patent says you got to take that point, and that point has to touch the paper. And when it runs over the paper, it's got to read, and it cannot have an error rate more than one wrong per 10 million. I go, okay, well, I just need it to reflect, right? Well, your phone is already emitting IR. You don't even know it. It's there all the time. You can see it. If you were looking to the frequency, I just got to tap the button and wake it up. And so I'm now not touching the code. And if the person just can't focus right, and it fails, they're going to go, fuck, I didn't do it right. And you're going to do it again. So I can have a failure rate of 50% and nobody will know because they'll think they just aimed it wrong. Boom. And I read it without ever touching it. And all of their patents overnight, multi-billion-dollar industry ended because I did something for 8 fucking cents. That's it. So the moral of the story is, yeah, you can go back and look at this shit, but does it matter? Does it mean how it's done? No. There's all kinds of codes. But if the fucking machines cannot first even emit the frequency to see it, which they cannot, it still has to check, is it valid? And that's why I say when they put out all these super secret, this fancy thing, we're going to do it or whatever, the machines still don't see it. And I can prove it to you. Take anything that looks like take a dollar bill. It's crime, but take a dollar bill and copy it. Those are all security features to keep it from being copied. But does your fucking scanner know the difference? No, because it doesn't have the software set or in the reader set to see the UV and go, wait, this is the dollar. You can't do it. And what does it do? Copies it. This is my issue with election integrity. And damn it, I'm telling you, We fucking might as well move this whole fucking movement. Oh, I was going to say move it to Minnesota, but isn't that where Mike Lindell is? And that's why we got fucking Leering centers teaching this shit. And somebody finds something on the fucking, I found a patent. It says the word could, and it has Coomer's name on it. And this is where we get raped. And get ready for this. Ready? Now, get ready. Hang on. I'm going to put you on the witness stand. Here's the first testimony you're going to see.
There were many, many problems discovered during the Maricopa audit. So in the first place, the Senate subpoenaed the ballots, and the Board of Supervisors delayed 5 months before they delivered the ballots. Out of 1,600 something boxes, all but about 50, the seals were missing or had been broken. There was no chain of custody on them. Dominion has a very specific requirement for ballot paper to be used in a Dominion scanner. So we're talking about something that's 4 or 5 times thicker than an ordinary sheet of paper. It has to be manufactured by the Roland Paper Company in Canada, and it has to have an infrared fluorescent watermark on it. Inside the scanner, there's an infrared light and a detector to make sure that the ballot that's been inserted is not counterfeit. But when the citizen auditors actually got to look at the ballots, they found 9 or 10 different kinds of paper, most of which came from Staples and Office Max. You say, well, how is this possible that they scanned 2 million ballots and didn't detect and reject the counterfeit paper? It's very simple. There's a configuration setting to turn the detector off. So basically, the machine was set not to check whether the paper being inserted was counterfeit paper. And
so we got Dr. Doherty, and I hate to do this because he's an accomplished fellow. And I put him on the scan. So we got Doherty here, every other fucking expert here. And all I have to put on the stand is Roland, Runback, Dominion, and the county. Here's my cross-examination. Maricopa County, did you order any ballot papers that possessed any components of infrared or ultraviolet security features for the 2020 election? They go, no. I'll hop to Roland. Roland, you're the manufacturer of the ballot papers that are used in Maricopa County. Did you manufacture any paper to be used for printing ballots that contained any type of IR or UV or known taggant to be able to confirm an authentic nature of the ballot? Did you manufacture any of that for Maricopa for the 2020 election? No. Run back. For the 2020 election and all the ballots that you printed for Maricopa County or any fraction thereof, and ostensibly you printed millions of ballots, how many of those printed ballots did you print happen to be printed on ballot papers that contained any known or unknown IR, UV taggants in them so those ballots could be confirmed? And Runback would say, we didn't get an order for it and we didn't print any. I put CAN in there and I put HP there. HP, you are the printer of Runback that prints the ballots. They buy your machines. In the printing of the ballots, do any of your 276 cassettes that print these ballots include IR or UV frequency embedded tones that they may be printed on said ballots? No, we don't have those cartridges. Have you ever been asked about them? No. Canon, you supply the scanners. If I was to give you a ballot that was printed on paper that had IR UV technology in it, and I fed that ballot into the machine, how would your machine, number one, verify it's an authentic ballot? Verify that it's at the right place? Verify that we should be seeing this ballot in our system? And if you found out that that ballot was not authentic, how would your system reject it? And how would you notify the Maricopa County workers of such work stoppage? Our systems don't do that. Well, can't scanners detect this stuff? Yes, sir. Well, then why can't you detect it? Because those advanced features aren't built into the scanners they buy. Dominion. We're looking at your software interface here, and it says this is off. We're just listening to this grand PhD poobah pillow salesman saying, you shut those off. And we have your patent. In 2008, you wrote in your patent, Mr. Coomer, that this could be done. Well, as an idea, I wanted a patent. Well, they did it, right? They didn't order the paper and the printers don't check for it. And nobody did this. And by the way, we abandoned that platform 22 years ago. Oh, Dr. Doherty, where'd you get this information? Well, part of our Bowtie Brigade read this on Twitter. What research did you do into the machines, into the printing, how it's ordered, how it gets inserted into a ballot, how the machines reconcile them, how they track the IDs, why they track the IDs? How much research did you do? Well, I read the Post. Did you talk to Canon, Dr. Doherty? No. Well, why are you making a claim that impugns Canon? Because, see, it's the Canon that scanned the ballots, and you said somebody went into the Canon machine and turned it off. Why? Look, it's in the paper. They posted it on X, and it was a dog and a bone and a bow tie and a monkey and a raccoon, and they all said it did that. See, it's off. Your Honor, if I may redirect. Mr. Coomer, in your software, does your software have future features? Our software is built for all kinds of things. We've got to make sure it can go on into the future or your software is old. If a feature is there, but the systems and machines can't use them, what does it look like? Well, it's just kind of blacked out. It says not available. Why does it say not available? Well, because you can't do it. But we contemplate it. Does it take somebody to go shut off that setting? No, it happens by default because the fucking machines talk. They know they're not looking for it. I kid you not. And I know I get upset about this, and I shouldn't take it personally. But you know why I take it personally? For all of our people that worked on our projects to do this, the millions we have invested in it to do it right for our fucking country, even smart people who will tell you they're smart, but there was nothing in there we can use, which is a total fucking lie. These guys told you, oh, you know, they didn't do it. Didn't turn in a report. Yet they're regurgitating my shit on road shows. But they're twisting it to that watermark and say, turn it off in the machine. See, I told you it was a machine. It's bad guys doing it. Come on. Do you understand how this works yet? It's always about 70 to 80% truth. And in this case, that's my truth there. Those are things we discovered and found. And you literally sit there and insult over 2,000 people that volunteered their time to do it on top of what we did, claiming it was never done, there was no report, and you insult every one of them. But when you go to the road show that people pay you to be there, somebody's paying you to travel the country to do this, you'll fucking take the accolades because you're like the cool dude who knows this shit. That's my point. And if we don't have high standards, I could be butt ugly. And in most cases, you know, I sleep with my face wadded up in my mouth. I have a face for radio. But I don't have to be some doting professor to say, see, I don't have to wear a bow tie and crosses hanging all over me like a rapper to convince you I'm a Christian, and then maybe you'll believe me. That's all bullshit. You're hearing a rooster because time's fucking up. This is the world we live in. Now, all of those people that ignored it are running for governorships. This is why they avoid the paper. Because in order to make any papers in any way not work and all those numbers to be off, which they cannot explain, they have not explained, and the system allows us to dodge us, while we can't explain why we ran in all these ballots a month after the election. Well, we can't explain why we used a completely different system that we don't know. Because it's easier for you to think somebody in a fucking foreign country did it and it's a bad guy. Well, I want to let you get a wake-up call. You might hate Mr. Coomer because they're only excuses. Well, he's bad. He's a Satanist. He sexist too much. He talked too much. He's a criminal. You know what that Satanist fucking did? Made a fucking multi-billion-dollar windfall because of your lie. You made him a rich motherfucker. And you took all kinds of people down from it. They're laughing at you. You are the number one fucking salesman in the country for Dominion. Because they made more money now in lawsuits than they ever made in the election business. You either want to fight for the truth, you either understand the truth, you either work hard for the truth, and you either put your money where your mouth is, or you buy a bunch of fucking pillows, or you pray a lot, or you buy a cross, and you think, well, I'm doing good because I say I'm good. And you know what? When you say, well, I'm doing good and I'm because I say I'm good, you're doing the same shit snowflakes and liberals do. Well, they got it covered. Well, we don't have this covered, folks. We don't have this covered when this is the level of our supposed academia expertise in the United States of America, and they don't know the difference between a patent, their ass, and a hole in the ground. And frankly, I'm tired of losing. But we have a country to save, and there is no giving up. I knew that when I walked into this. It's painful. But we can't give up. They hope we give up. They hope we think they've got it figured out and covered. We're in a bigger con right now than we were even in 2020. Because if they look at the actual papers and system, thousands of lawmakers go to jail, not innocent people like Tina Peters. And nobody has to lie because it's the paper fucking talking. And it either is or it isn't. There's no opinion involved. I love you all. I'm telling you, folks, we're going to get our ass kicked if we don't make what we have to do. They would love nothing more than this evidence to be lost to time to ever. And that's the game they're playing with us, to wait us out. And it's a shit game. But that's how they do it. Insert him anyway. He's too mean. He talks too hard. He's this. He's a Jew. No. I'm an American. I love my country. I love my God. I don't care much for the people anymore because so many people don't have what it takes to be a warrior and fight their asses off for the defense. Everybody just kind of floats along. So I've lost respect there. But even if I'm the only one doing it, I will go to my grave knowing I did what was right for my country. And I will not, no matter what, sell my country down the river to fucking be invaded and taken over. I love you, bye.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or six-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pull the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archive secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County full forensic audit archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now